Japan's popularity is at an all-time high, and it seems like everyone is planning a trip, which is phenomenal for their economy and the art we love so much. So I have to ask the question, why is everyone all of a sudden so obsessed with Japan?
There's multiple factors. One, Japan is a paradise. Let's just call it what it is. Most people nowadays learn about the Japanese and how clean they are, how nice they are, how little crime there is. I mean, people talk about how you can just leave your wallet, in Japan and walk somewhere else and come back, your stuff's still there. Listen, in the US, it ain't like that. It's definitely not like that. I'm not leaving my wallet anywhere, boy. If I go to the gym, my wallet fall out of my pocket, I come back, I'm hoping my junk ain't gone. That's just not how it is. So that in itself is obviously a big part of it.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
I think it's because it's untouched. It's an untouched first world, right? You have situations where they got to develop their culture in a particular way that's different from everybody else. So it has this spectacle factor. You go there, the buildings are different, the people are different, the music is different, their obsession with anime, like everything about them is unique. So people go there and they're just blown away by how different it is from the rest of society, because you could travel through Europe. I've been all over the Caribbeans. You could travel through the Caribbeans. You could travel North America, South America, so on and so forth. And you'll see like these similarities between everybody, right? Especially when you talk about crime. You go to all these places, there's some level of, crime. But then when you go to some place like, let's say Japan, and that has a very, very low crime rate and people are friendly, polite, that's real different. Especially when you talk about politeness.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, most countries, everybody wants to be mean in a particular way, right? Either they say, oh, it's not that these people are mean in this country, they're just not social the way y'all are in America. Or, oh, these people are like this because of this group of people that live in their country. Like, no, like, Japan is just, like I say, untouched in a particular way. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that they're being influenced, of course, by all this tourism, and I know there's tourism issues. I think this year, no, it was last year, they had 37 million people visit the country, which is, first of all, that's insane for that little island. Yeah. Like, I think they only have like 120 something million people that live in Japan. So to have like 40 million people show up basically is absolute madness. But they still keep themselves, right? And because they're like that, their artwork has that element in it that's different. Their storytelling structure is different from what we're used to. So that's what everybody's obsession is. Whether you like anime, manga, or just, really nice people, they have something for everybody.
I also think that, as far as tech, they're very advanced. Obviously, there's a whole saying that, they're not technological advanced, you just live in the United States. And they say that because, they got bullet trains, they got all these things that, we don't have over here. And we're like, dang, Japan's really advanced. Well, not necessarily. They just use their money to, the tax dollars and everything to actually improve their culture and their location. Whereas in our country, a lot of politicians and all that stuff are just pocketing money and all that stuff. So that's part of the reason. And as well, like you said, I think, yes, their culture is great, but it's even amplified even more because a lot of our, entertainment and things of that nature have declined dramatically.
Yeah.
Even the Marvel series, Star Wars, Witcher, all that stuff, they're pale in comparison.
Yeah.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad to the point where everybody's just shifting to what's the best, entertainment form, which is anime at this time. Their stories are better, their story structure is better, the development of the characters is better. So everybody's just going to what the best product is. And right now, the best product is anime.
It is, true. And you got to realize that when a society is clean, organized, it's easier for you to think. Like you've had a dirty room that you cleaned up, and once all the clutter is gone, you feel better. You feel like it's easier for you to think.
They says a cluttered mind causes a cluttered room causes a cluttered mind.
Yeah. So imagine a whole country is not cluttered, right? You see it and you're like, wow, this is very organized. This is beautiful. Like, you've seen countries that are real cluttered. Like you got Middle Eastern countries that are pretty cluttered. You have India. India has a lot of clutter to where it almost clouds the mind, right? So even the UK has a lot of clutter. Everything's everywhere. It's like a perfect balance between nature and still a suburban metropolis situation, right?
But I also think Japan is also very inviting. So
it is.
Like I think they have the same basically, whereas losers in other countries are like praised here, because a lot of the people, a lot of the weebs just in our country, you know what I'm saying, people like, and RDC World 1 and most people have talked about it, where at a point in time, especially with me when I was growing up, anime was not embraced. You know what I'm saying? If you was into like, video games, anime, all that stuff, it was frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? You were seen as a nerd or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? And they embrace that culture. So if you go over there, you're embraced, you're treated, with respect, instead of, in certain places you're seen as different or weird. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, that mindset is changing nowadays.
It is.
Where you see streamers
slowly.
Slowly. You know what I'm saying?
Because I do see, they still take shots at things that men like. It's kind of crazy.
You know what I'm saying? But like you see streamers and gamers and stuff like that are making a lot of money, but it's still like, certain groups of people still don't recognize it as being something of value. They're like, if you play video games, you still hear that sometimes. But in other cultures, or just in Japan in general, they accept that.
You have generations of family members that play games.
Exactly.
Like, can you imagine sitting in a room, your mom's playing the game, grandma's playing a game, she's on her Game Boy, whatever the heck, you know what I'm saying? She's vintage stuff she probably bought. Like, that's it's not something you're gonna see in America.
And then also, even the manga thing, you know what I'm saying? Over there, like, it's very common to see people just reading manga books and stuff like that. Whereas if I have a manga book over here, they're like, you know what I'm saying? It's still kind of jarring for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And also, their ability to, you know what I'm saying, always adapt and go with the times as far as technology. When XRP, crypto and all that stuff was going on, they were just the forefront of like, yeah, we'll accept this, we'll accept that. You know what I'm saying? They're willing to accept new technology and new innovation, whereas a lot of other countries are very slow to adopt. You know what I'm saying? And it's because, they're very wary of things, but
they embraced AI. They're embracing it very fast.
Definitely,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Even what I hear about them deciding that they're going to do like AI dubbing, where the actors that they have in their country's voice can be used and translated into English. Like, that's ahead of your, a little bit ahead of your time, I'd say, right? I know a lot of people have their gripes about AI and so on and so forth, but man, if you want the most accurate translation, maybe that's the way to go.
And then here's the thing too, like, I know people have, their problems about technology and how things are growing and things, but it's still gonna, like, even whether you dislike it or like it, it's still gonna progress.
Still coming.
So like, whether you are for AI or against AI, it doesn't matter, because they're not gonna stop improving on AI. So it's better to understand it, learn it, and adapt to it than fight against it and then still have to adapt to it at a later time. And that's why I think Japan does a good job of, is that they'll adapt to things, get very good at it, you know what I'm saying? Even with for example, Nintendo. Nintendo is what Nintendo is. Everybody, a lot of people are obsessed with graphics and all that stuff. Whereas Nintendo is just like, man, make a good game.
Make it fun.
Make it fun. Like, I'm be honest with you, I'm playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom right now. I'm having a great time playing Legend of Zelda, and it's not crazy graphics or whatever, but it's just a very good game. And I haven't enjoyed video games for a while now, because everything there's no real stories, there's no real development. Like, it just
seems like a money grab.
Yeah,
it's always like, they're trying to get you these DLCs. They're trying to just milk you as much as possible. That's what I see in it. That turns me off also. Listen, it's okay to make money. We want you to make money on your art form. But when it seems like that's all you care about, and you don't care about the art form comes secondary, third in line to your money, then it becomes an issue, because we the people, we feel it, we experience it.
And
right?
One of the biggest things I would say about Japan is they're willing to take risks.
Yes.
Because in our entertainment industry now, nobody wants to do anything that might be a risk, because they don't know, they want the return on their money. But again, new stories have to be written and told.
Yes.
In Japan, they're very good at
new lore must be created.
New this, new that, new anime, different types. I mean, they did an anime that people were pissed off about, the fat elf, whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but you know what I'm saying? It's the idea of doing an anime about a fat elf is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything they do is always different and new and interesting and taking risks. And that we need to start doing that again, man. We need to start taking risks, because it may be a boom or it might be a bust. But the fact of the matter is, you still have the opportunity, and it could be something great.
Now, hopefully this year, I could take a trip to Japan and we could document it for y'all.
Hopefully.
So we'll see.